I've been a champion of bezel-less devices long before the Xiaomi Mi Mix came out, and now that I actually have one in my hand, it's underwhelming to say the least. It definitely has that wow factor that pretty much all bezel-less phones have, but that's about it. If the Mate Alpha wasn't bezel-less, it would instantly be lost in a sea of mid-range MediaTek devices. However, the bezel-less nature of the hardware easily catches the eye of the consumer, and let's see if this phone is worth your money. The Mate Alpha is not very bezel-less. There, I said it. While this phone might look bezel-less from far, the more you use the phone, the faster you realize that the side bezels are actually quite large, a far cry from what you find on the Mi Mix or even the Galaxy S8 Plus. However, the top bezel is definitely small compared to normal phones, measuring slightly larger than the side bezels. While the bezels are not small, it does give a floating screen effect that is quite entrancing to stare at. The bottom bezel is quite large as well, housing the fingerprint sensor and the selfie camera. The rest of the phone is nondescript. It's a rectangular slab of glass and metal, making it very fragile, and combined with the size of the phone, the Mate Alpha is the epitome of droppability. The Mate Alpha's display is boringly good enough to avoid widespread hate and complaints, but not good enough to wow in any way. Color saturation is good enough, and so is brightness. It's easy to see in sunlight, and viewing angles are pretty good as well. The speaker is slightly subpar. While its output's decent volume, audio quality lags in bass, and the speaker quality overall isn't crisp. That being said, it's still good enough for general use such as movies, TV, and music.
A girl who was broken. They fought alongside a survivor, a war veteran, and a fallen knight. I led them into battle against an evil so terrible it tried to black out the stars. We fought for each other.
One of the biggest surprises here is the battery life. I could get around 5 hours of 1080p YouTube playback and an hour of photos and gaming and news, and that dropped the battery to about 38% over about a 10-hour day, making it incredibly difficult to completely kill this phone here. While this numbers still do not match up to Snapdragon 625 devices, they are still more than sufficient for even the heaviest users. May still has some work to do to optimize their software well. While they didn't do a bad job per se, I still found the user experience to be slower as a whole versus Yumi Digi, Elephone, and Verni, at least phones with comparable specs. There seems to be a microsecond of hesitation on the Mate Alpha not found in the other companies that were just mentioned. That being said, this is only Mate's second phone, so they still have time to improve, and I have pretty high hopes for now. The 4GB of RAM makes multitasking a breeze, however the bottleneck is still the processor and not the RAM. I could play all the games no problem, even heavy games like Mortal Kombat ran very well. The fingerprint sensor works okay, but just not very fast or accurately. The sensor feels pretty slow, almost as slow as an entry-level device and just about as inaccurate as well. Moving on to connectivity, the Mate Alpha has one of the highest 4G speeds I've seen on a device, which is impressive, with reception being slightly less stellar but still good. I found Bluetooth and GPS reception to be both rather average. Wi-Fi fails to impress, with Wi-Fi speeds being mostly sufficient until you move 12 feet away from the router, where Wi-Fi speeds seem to drop to dial-up speeds. Any sort of solid door decreases range even farther. The photos here are not the greatest quality, but I think Mate did a stellar job hiding that fact at times. Macro shots or close-up shots actually look pretty nice until you blow it up on a big screen where you start seeing quite a bit of background noise and over-sharpening. Normal shots fare less well, with average detail and unflatteringly oversaturated shots. Moving objects prove a challenge for the Mate to capture, resulting in mostly blurry shots as well. Low light yields mostly unusable photos. The front-facing camera requires you to flip the phone around to take a photo, although you can take a photo right side up, but that results in a rather XPS 13 type webcam angle. The video tops out at around 1080p and detail is not present, and it's challenging to take good video with this phone. The Mate Alpha is a rather average mid-range MediaTek device with no bezels and fails to impress. If this phone wasn't bezel-less, I have no doubt this device would have fallen by the wayside rather quickly, with many other better mid-range devices to choose from. However, mid-range bezel-less devices and bezel-less devices in general are few and far between, and if you want to get in on the bezel-less craze, this is one of the only two options so far. If you do buy this because of the bezel, this is a rather average and uninspiring mid-range devices that will get the job done, but not very well. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.